This story is brutal, it's sad, and it's downright crazy. And it took place in Reston, Virginia, which it's a great place. It's not too far away from us, and we like to go there and get brunch. It's just outside of D.C. Now, this story's nuts. This is a former female college basketball player, an NAACP activist, and she attacked a cop with a steak knife, and he restrains himself. And then ultimately she loses her life. So it's a very sad story. I'm not going to be showing any of the images, as some of them may be graphic. So they are blurred. I am not about shot content, guys. If you want to watch the videos, you can find them on X, you can find them on other platforms. But I do think this is very important that we talk about this, because I don't think this officer did anything wrong. There's reports that Black Lives Matter is outraged over this. I've actually not seen much reporting or activism from BLM over the issue. But the story is that when the story first broke, this is a woman who is in need of a wellness check. And all that comes out initially is that an officer opened fire on her and took her life. So the reporting now that we're seeing, or should I say the rumors, that BLM is outraged over this. So they released the body camera footage. You know, the body camera footage is horrifying. I'll break it down for you because it's important to talk about this story. But again, if you want the shocking content, you find it somewhere else. I'm here to do commentary on the issues. I'm not here to, show this kind of stuff, right? You can find it if you want. So what happens is, in the body camera footage, the cop goes to the door. She opens it. She slams it in his face. They knock. They're like, ma'am, are you, like, we're here for a wellness check. Are you okay? And it's just one cop. Dude, this video is nuts. She opens the door and immediately just swings a knife. And you can hear the cop go, whoa, and the cop runs. He runs away. She comes after him. He pulls his gun and says, stop, back up, back up. And she's got the knife in her hand, raised up. He's backed into a corner in a dead-end hallway. And then she gets him. She slashes this cop several times. He opens fire, flees. Yo, it was crazy. Because I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it really looked like she was zombified, like she was just out of it. I feel bad for this cop. This story is from September 18th, the initial report. Now the body camera footage is out. This cop tried not to use force. And this is the challenging thing. There's no middle ground here. And so this is why I think it's something we should address when I see this story. Firstly, because it's in Reston, dude. Yo, that's where I get my tapas. Crazy. The story goes like this. A Reston woman is dead. And a Fairfax County police officer on restricted duty after a welfare check ended in an officer-involved shooting. He responded to the home, and they give the address, whatever, 10:17 a.m. to do a after a request from a mental health professional to check on Sydney Wilson, who was reported to be agitated. A crisis intervention trained officer knocked on Wilson's door, showed him the door, and immediately closed it. The officer continued to try and speak with Wilson, and after about 2 minutes, she opened the door again, this time armed with a knife. According to officials, she immediately assaulted the officer outside the home. He backed away and attempted to de-escalate. Wilson continued to approach with the knife, and the officer discharged his weapon, hitting Wilson 3 times. Look, Post Millennial's got the photos, man. But again, I'm not here to show shot content. Responding officers began rendering aid until EMS personnel arrived. Wilson was taken to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. The involved officer was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 14-year veteran in the Reston Patrol District. As per department policy, the officer has been placed on restricted duty status pending the outcome of the investigation. The investigation will be conducted by the Major Crime Bureau, and the body-worn camera footage will be released within 30 days. Well, you can watch the footage. This is what's important right now. This cop tried to de-escalate. And we hear this all the time. Look, I'll criticize bad cops all day. I will criticize the institution, and there's no hypocrisy, because I get people being like, oh, what, you're gonna defend the cops now, but you're gonna criticize. Yes. Because we've got problems with Democrat-appointed leadership in the police departments that tie the hands of good cops, promote bad cops. The whole thing's got problems. I remember this video where a guy shoots a black man in the back, and his other officers defended him and lied about it. It was only because footage came out. That stuff does happen. These are bad guys. We can criticize that, and I can defend this guy. This is a good cop. This cop she swung a knife. He backs up and he tries to flee. Yo. Let me tell you about the problems here. What if she attacked an innocent bystander? When she swung that knife, that was lethal force directed at an individual. These cops are scared to respond in the way they may need to save lives because of the defund the police movement, because of these activists. So imagine this scenario. A cop is outside, or let's say in an apartment. The woman swings the knife and he flees and gets the exit. And then an innocent person standing there gets slashed up and killed. People are going to say, why didn't the cop save them? Yeah. Why didn't he? Well, because he's going to say, what am I supposed to do? And they're going to say, use your service weapon. Defend people. I didn't know the person was going to attack that person. I'll tell you this. If she opened the door and swung and he immediately pulled his weapon and went bang, 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 they'd be saying, how could he have even known? She was scared. A cop's banging on the door. She panicked. If this cop, he got slashed several times. If he took the action to protect himself, they'd be going after him right now. But he backed off, restrained himself, and tried to flee, and he got slashed several times in the face because of it. He's going to have permanent scars. He's on the ground covered in blood. There's no middle ground here. There's no reality where in a life or death situation, anyone, be it a cop or otherwise, is going to be like, well, hold on there. Let's find the middle ground. I don't want to fight you, but I do. There's none. It's one side or the other. You run, and then you're responsible for whatever happens next, or you try and stop the threat. You know, look, man, the way things are going in this country with Daniel Penny and Daniel Perry, two guys. One guy in Austin has a far left mob around his car. A guy walks up with a rifle at low ready. He panics. He shoots the guy. They say, you go to jail. He's lucky he got a pardon. Now you got the other guy. I think that was Perry. Penny up in New York. A guy's threatening to kill people on the train. He subdues the person, renders aid, recovery position. Doesn't matter. He gets arrested. Meanwhile, criminals are getting released. And narco tyranny, this cannot sustain itself. So we've got this big talk about masculinity and why people want Donald Trump. And Bill Maher's flabbergasted. How could this be? How could people want Donald Trump? Because we're sick of this, dude. Look, I'm sad this woman lost her life. I don't know why she snapped. She lost her mind. Why did she swing a knife at a cop? I wish she didn't. But what are you supposed to do? 6'5", 300 some odd pounds. Yo, the video is crazy. A wellness check needs to happen. Okay? A mental health professional said she's going nuts. If the cop didn't respond and she harmed herself, they'd say it was the cop's fault. If the cop does respond and doesn't defend himself and someone else gets hurt, it's the cop's fault. Here's the crazy thing. If the cop ran away and nothing happened, there's no story. This insane behavior just persists. But the cop here tried to run. We can't have police departments operating this way, right? This woman attacked the guy, and it's crazy that we come to this. I'm glad there's body camera footage. I'm glad. And that's the big secret, too, is cops secretly wanted. Here's the rumor. The rumor is that many police departments lobbied for body cameras and couldn't get it. So then they tried to make a campaign of, oh, but we have to watch the cops. Now the cops have evidence that they weren't in the wrong. Now they have more evidence of wrongdoing on the part of the individuals. So instead of having to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on these cameras to film you when they think you're committing a crime and what you're saying, it's kind of crazy, right? Body cameras help police tremendously. Now we got evidence this person went nuts. So I'm done with this, okay? You know, too often we see these videos where there's one where there's two cops, a guy's got a knife, and they try not to shoot the guy. And then he gets the guy in a headlock, and the other cop's like, no, and then he shoots the guy in the head. What do we have with Ferguson and Darren Wilson and Michael Brown? Well, the coroner's report, according to the Obama Justice Department, was that Michael Brown attacked the cop. And what was the lie? Hands up, don't shoot. They did that because it's for political power. So these body cameras are protecting everybody. But I got to tell you, man, it's wild to hear this happen in Reston. Reston is a wealthy place. Like, you are not poor and living in Reston. So this woman, she played basketball. She probably had some kind of money. Not saying she's the richest person in the world, but it's wild to hear this story, man. So look, let me put it this way. Because I get people who are like, Tim, aren't you anti-cop, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm in the middle of the road, dude. That means I get pissed off when I see injustice anywhere. There was one video a long time ago where there was a suspect and he was sitting in a chair, cuffed, not doing anything. And a cop grabs his head and bashes it against the wall. 3 other cops in the room, and they all lied to defend the bad cop. So they're all bad cops. You know, I reject that. If there's 9 regular people and 1 Nazi at a table, there are 10 Nazis. Oh, shut up. But if there's 9 dudes at a table and 1 Nazi, and the rest of them are agreeing with the guy and lying to protect him and following him, then yeah, you probably got 10 Nazis. If there's 1 bad cop in a room and he beats a guy for no reason and the other cops lie to defend him, you got 4 bad cops. but they don't want to. They don't want to step out. Well, you have to. In this instance, I got no problem saying this poor dude, man. I hope he's okay. But we have to realize the nuances in how we deal with this stuff, and we can't allow criminals to do whatever they want. And we have to be ready to we have to understand this kind of thing's going to happen. If you go nuts, if you attack a cop, there's no easy answers. Life is not easy. I'm going to wrap it up there. Next segment's coming up tonight at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all then.